cement themselves as the team that this league goes through. The reigning MLS Cup Miami on the way to their Leagues Cup title this summer. They have the GOAT tonight. Special occasion, special atmosphere at lower.com field. And it is underway in Columbus, Ohio. The Columbus Crew hosting Inter Miami. Inter Miami a chance to add a strike off the corner. Rossi in, cleared by against the Columbus Crew. Cucho looking for Farsi, might be behind Allen Gallas. Ramirez looking for Cucho, Allen defending. Oh, Allen does. Messi. Emerson there, the crew. Marston for the crew. Cucho Hernandez taking it from an angle! And the offside flag has come up. Spectacular finish from Cucho. That will not count. But a warning shot fired by the crew.
And the issue is, you can see Cucho Hernandez immediately look at Max Arfston. He's got
a little time. Cucho, it takes a deflection. Farsi will let it go. For Miami, the question was, right, Taylor, it wasn't, are they going to win the Supporters Shield? It was with Tata Gomez. This is promising for the first time tonight for Miami. Alba clipping it in.
Came over and had a conversation with Tata Martino and his staff, and immediately
Arfston, Weigant was there. As Inter Miami have won a corner, and he might be there. Oh, Weigant's over and then headed off the line and up and over. What a chance for Miami. Schulte hesitated. And Marcelo Weigant almost took advantage.
He hesitated too much for me. You know this ball, the moment it's clipped off, you got to come off your line. It's clipped off with the right pace, but because you don't come off.
Creates some magic. Messi. Wrights, now a chance. Messi, dangerous spot, it's in! The offside flag is up! No goal, second time tonight. This time it's Miami denied by the assistant referee's flag.
This is extremely tight of whether or not Darlington Nagbe keeps Diego Gomez. That freezes. It looks like Camacho. Does he come and impact that? Jumps in front of it.
Arfston carrying the ball into pressure, and Schulte will just. Jordi Alba. Allen trying to get behind. Won't be. Moreira in. Only as far as Ramirez, who settles! Oh! Just wide from Christian Ramirez.
I think one of the best things Wilfred Nancy has done for Cucho Hernandez is...
It's left, it's Cucho, it's deflected. Oh my goodness. Hesitated, and so did Rossi and Moreira. Nobody wanted to go. Frey, what a ball. Finds Suarez, he's trying to... This is Gomez in the middle, touch on. Redondo trying to get behind. It was a difficult ball.
Keep an eye. Does he come off his line like this?
Oh, Rossi! Calendar makes the save. Another moment of half danger from the crew.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you want. This is no man's land for Busquets. One-on-one against...
It's it wrong. He's been for Messi, who settles. Messi trying to cut inside, still there! It's direct to the great one! And Lionel Messi has put Inter Miami one step closer to the Supporters Shield and to the 46th trophy in his career.
As sloppy of a half as you will ever see from the greatest of all time, and yet it doesn't matter. They keep possession, so now Messi loses possession. It comes back to the back line, and he pulls off. But now Amundsen drops. That keeps Lionel Messi onside. Little deflections in the right spot, but then in the critical moment, who has the composure? Not Amundsen, not Camacho, Lionel Messi. Completely against the run of play. Inter Miami, Lionel Messi, 1-0.
Because of that video review check on Lionel Messi's goal. scores! Schulte stunned! Messi magic! And all he can do is shrug. 2-0 Inter Miami with the supporter shield on the line.
For the third straight time, Inter Miami lead Columbus by a 2-goal lead in the first half. And in the blink of an eye, Lionel Messi has turned this game on its head. You have to be perfect. The details, setting up the wall. Is it wide enough? Is there tall enough players to make him uncomfortable?
From a supporter shield. This is a good chance. Oh! What a start! It's the third time this year the Crew have gone down 2-0 to Miami. They're used to being in this situation. 20 seconds into the second half, Diego Rossi cuts the lead in half. 2-1, game on in Columbus.
It's direct and it is right down the throat of Inter Miami's defense. They didn't get a ton from Rossi in the first half. They got a little bit. He had that half a chance where he took on Busquets. Great little flick on here from Cucho, but it is Farsi. It is Rossi just going right down and for the ball that popped down perfectly. Give Rossi a ton of credit. Calm and composed. My word. 2-1. 20.
Here we go in.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no! Suarez!
You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me.
Schulte ran into Camacho and straight off the kickoff. Inter Miami get their 2-goal lead back. 3-1.
My word. My word. You give it right back. How does this happen? It is a simple ball for Patrick Schulte to deal with. Camacho's running. You've got to be screaming off your. You've got to be. This cannot happen. That's
It's 2 goals, Taylor. And I'm hesitant to bring up anything to you now. Suarez clipping it back towards Messi. Camacho, Messi there. Baton towards Farsi. Kept it in play, did he? It looked like it was out of play. That's a goal kick given to Miami.
Well, if it's well, hold on a minute.
They give it a Pacho. Scores! The twists, the turns of this massive matchup. 3-2, Cucho from the spot.
Minutes into the second half, we've had 3 goals.
Welcome to Chilling Voices, where the eerie and the supernatural come alive. Tonight, we have a story that will make you question the very things you see with your own eyes. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our terrifying tales. Now, dim the lights, settle in, and listen carefully. For tonight's story is about a haunted mirror that sees more than you could ever imagine. It was a quiet, unassuming town, nestled between the folds of dark, misty forests and rolling hills. A place where everyone knew everyone, and secrets were rarely kept. But there was one house, perched on the edge of town, that no one dared to speak of. It had been abandoned for years, its windows dark, its walls slowly crumbling with the passage of time. Locals called it the widow's house, though no one truly remembered who the widow had been or what had happened inside that house. The house stood silent, waiting. One autumn evening, a man named Daniel arrived in the town, searching for peace. He had recently lost his wife, and the weight of grief had become too much to bear. He thought perhaps a change of scenery would give him the time he needed to heal, or at least to forget, if only for a moment. He found a small inn in the center of town, where the walls were lined with faded photographs and quiet whispers. The innkeeper, an elderly woman with sharp, knowing eyes, was the first to mention the house. She spoke of it in hushed tones, as if even speaking the name would summon something from the shadows. "You're welcome to stay as long as you like," the innkeeper had said, her voice trembling slightly. But stay away from the widow's house. It's not the place for visitors. Daniel, skeptical of superstitions, nodded politely but didn't take her words seriously. The sadness in his heart clouded his mind, and the mystery of the house intrigued him. Something about the silence it emanated called to him, a haunting invitation that he couldn't ignore. On the third night of his stay, after a long walk through the fog-drenched streets, Daniel found himself standing at the wrought iron gate of the house. The gate creaked open as if it had been waiting for him, and without thinking, he stepped inside. The air was thick, colder than it should have been for an autumn evening. The house loomed ahead, its windows like dark eyes watching him, its door slightly ajar, beckoning. As he crossed the threshold, the floorboards groaned under his weight. It was almost as if the house was alive, breathing with him, a silent entity that had waited far too long for company. Daniel wandered through the rooms, his footsteps echoing in the silence. The furniture was covered in dust, and the walls were adorned with peeling wallpaper, the patterns faded and forgotten. But as he moved deeper into the house, he noticed something strange. The shadows seemed to shift, stretching and pulling in unnatural ways. He could feel them watching him, lurking just out of sight, waiting for something, or someone. It wasn't long before he heard the first whisper. It was soft, a faint murmur, like a voice carried on the wind. Daniel paused, straining to listen, but the house remained still. He thought it was his imagination playing tricks on him, until the whisper came again. "Help me?" A chill ran down his spine. The voice was clear this time, but it wasn't the voice of a woman or a man. It was something in between, something broken. It seemed to come from the walls themselves, as if the house was speaking. The whispering continued, growing louder with each passing moment, filling the space with an overwhelming sense of urgency. And then the shadows moved. From the corners of the room, they began to stretch toward him, long and twisting, like fingers reaching out to claim him. Daniel felt an icy hand brush against his skin, and in that instant, he realized the shadows were alive, conscious, and they wanted him. Panic surged through him, and he turned to run, but the house seemed to close in around him. The door he had entered through had vanished, replaced by a wall of dark, swirling mist. He stumbled backward, searching for an escape, but the shadows followed him, relentless and suffocating. Then, in the far corner of the room, he saw it, a figure standing in the doorway. It was a woman, draped in black, her face obscured by a veil. The whispers became a chorus, a cacophony of voices, all crying out for help, all pleading with him. But the woman didn't speak. She simply stood there, unmoving, watching. Daniel's heart pounded in his chest as he tried to make sense of what was happening. The shadows closed in tighter, pulling at his limbs, and the figure in the doorway began to step forward, inch by inch. He could hear her footsteps, soft yet deliberate, as though she was savoring his fear. "No," Daniel whispered, struggling against the shadows that now gripped him. He fought to break free, but it was futile. The house was too strong. And then, in a moment of clarity, he understood. The whispers weren't just the voices of the past. They were the voices of those who had come before him. People who had entered this house, who had been consumed by it, who had become part of its cursed history. The woman in the doorway finally spoke, her voice a low, rasping echo that seemed to reverberate in his very soul. "You've come, and now you will stay." With that, the shadows surged forward, enveloping him completely. Daniel's screams were swallowed by the darkness, lost forever within the walls of the widow's house. And so the house waits. Each new visitor is drawn inside by the whispers, by the pull of the unknown. Some come searching for answers, others simply seeking a place to forget. But none leave, not truly, for the house has a hunger, an insatiable need to keep its secrets buried, to claim anyone foolish enough to cross its threshold. The widow's house remains, silent and still, forever watching, forever waiting. And if you listen closely on a foggy night, you might hear the whispers too, just faintly at first, but growing louder, closer, until they're all around you. Help me. Thank you for joining me on tonight's chilling tale. If you enjoyed the story, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more spine-tingling experiences. And remember, there are places in this world that should remain untouched, left in the dark. Sometimes, curiosity is the most dangerous thing of all. Until next time, be careful what you listen to in the silence.